don't have the money right now to pay the taxes on their houses, which is then going to pay the people that are on furlough right now. The people that are working for the cities are running out. The police forces are running out. The fire forces are running out. Many cities, they had a water main break this morning. Did you read about it back on the East Coast? One of the cities flooded a whole part of the city because all of the water things were done 20 years ago. How about the building here in Los Angeles? How many years ago was all the underground structures done? I talked to a guy, I have some friends in the three-letter agency, CIA, Crooks in Action. They're all professional liars. Promise me, I don't know a CIA guy that doesn't go to liar school. That's our part of their game. What do you think? You think they're just sitting here, they're out here trying to do things and they don't want anybody to know what's going on. And they have their own little group within a group. It's a crazy deal. Anyway, I talked to one of the guys up and he says, you know, they got swimming pools in houses up in Lancaster and Palmdale inside their houses. And they're making these chemical mixtures, if you want to call it that way, biological mixtures of diseases. So they can reverse the water out of the swimming pool into the water supply system to go to Southern California. Are you getting that? They figure within 5 days they can wipe out all Southern California by just your drinking water. And believe it or not, we were on television. I had Ted Gunderson and stuff. We went on TV and they jerked the program because I had a biologist explaining the program. And this is what Ted Gunderson, former head of the FBI, if you're probably aware of, for Southern California. We were working on this, trying to expose this thing. You guys probably didn't even know that. We're so close to what they got planned because when we set it on the plans was to use neutron bombs on the major cities because the radiation goes away in a few days and we get rid of most of the people. The useless eaters or expendable containers, or today you've got a new title, you're a human resource. Got to make it, well, you go get a job. What does it say? The Human Resource Division? Anyway, that's where you're at this minute. The next thing you got to look at it, that was a plan, but the secondary plan was biologicals that are much cheaper. So why do you think they want to come out with this mandatory vaccination? How do you create something that will vaccinate against something that we don't even have yet? And who does the testing? If you're going to take one of those things, have the doctor that administrates you swear that he took it before he gave it to you. All right? Because a lot of times that's happening. What's happening in California in the doctors? They're not getting paid right now. So what's happening on that? We got a lot of foreign doctors that are moving in on their positions, but you're also then getting less care. The United States has moved from one of the best care places in the world down. Now you can go to other places if you need it, but we have to be taking care of our own bodies. We have to know what we are. And what are we? We're a spirit inside this rent-a-wreck. It weighs 22 grams. It actually physically has weight. They've measured it. At the moment of the so-called death, that 22 grams leaves your body. The Russians did a big study on it. They made a movie on it. How many people see 22 grams? Interesting, huh? What's that? That's 4 packs of sugar. You know the little pack of sugar? They're 1 gram. And why did they measure things in grams? You have any idea? Well, when it comes to sugar, you can get 5 grams basically is 1 teaspoon of sugar. Go see how many grams of sugar is in a bottle of Coke. You have any idea? 40 to 45. So if you divide 5 into 40, how many teaspoons of sugar are you taking? 8 to 9. Sugar is carcinogenic and addictive. Start looking at your stuff on it. Don't take the things that are coming down, like all their hydrogenated stuff that they've given you is all poisons to your body, whether it's anything. The only good sugar that you can get is probably the natural cane sugar, and you can buy that still. Your salt that you get at the store, go buy sea salts because it has the minerals. If you use the other ones, you're depleting your body. These are just things that you should know. The problem that we have is immense because it comes down only to our health or the lack of it. We're being bombarded by so many energies at this minute that your brain functions. How many people in here all of a sudden are waking up and say, what happened to that day? You don't remember it. This is also part of another cycle. Planet Earth, as we're spinning around this 365.25 days, right? Around our sun, our system is going around the central sun of, it's called Alcyon, of the Pleiades. This cycle is about 26,000 years. We are entering into that cycle. We're already being affected by some of the rays. The rays are hitting the planet. We're killing off 1,000 life forms a day on the planet. Did you know that? This is a combination. I mean, I got friends that have, down at Roytan, for instance, people love to skin dive, or down in scuba and look at all of the stuff on it. The fish are dying, the coral reefs are dying, everywhere. You know, I'm fortunate. I get to travel around the world, and I don't owe my living to anybody. I've made it all. I've lost a lot when they found out what was going on. They tried to destroy me, but I'm able to come out here to help you go along. And the biggest help we can have is for you people to read that little handbook and ask for guidance from off planet. Because I tried all the things I could probably. When I found out what was going on, a friend of mine over here is a major producer. I said, let's expose these guys. And he laughed. He says, who controls the distribution? Think about that. Who controls the distribution of information in movies? If they want it out there, they'll put it out there. It's like Aaron Russo, when he did his. Aaron and I talked about that. You know, and he basically got his movie out by four-walling. How many people know what four-walling is? Four-walling is when you go in and, when the movie chain opens up, there's eight screens inside the theater. They're all the movies and everything are provided by the studios, and they give a percentage back to, as you know, 80 to 90% of whatever the take is. But for four-walling is when you take your own movie and you go buy that screen. So whatever income comes back to you, then you can put your stuff out. Now that's what Aaron did for a little while, and you know, unfortunately, Aaron was Bette Midler's, you know, producer. And he did the movie From Freedom to Fascism, and he died of cancer, but he had cancer before he did this. I've known Aaron for quite a while. These are things that are occurring. The other information, I have another friend who just also died, unfortunately. He and I were entertaining a new way to get distribution of information out. And the best way for information today is people like Bill and Carrie, and we got to thank them again, frankly. Because they're acting as a catalyst on a known thing right now that they're trying to figure out how to control it. I mean, they're still leaking through, as you know, into China can shut it down. I had some people try to get up on Project Camelot and couldn't get on the net last night. I get people the same thing with my website, and I don't have anything that's really that dangerous that's on there other than, and my little books are not dangerous because they don't understand them. They don't. I go to another company, a guy thumbs through it, is this going to be against the government? Does it say anything about that? No, it makes you rethink who you are. You're a product of, you know, in John 1 it says, in the beginning there was the Word. We all know that wasn't right. In the beginning it was thought. Words are thought out loud. When you pray, you put out thought. When you meditate, you're hoping to receive thought. So it's very obvious that we're nothing more than the thought, as they said, when I talked to the ETs, they said, above all things is the creation. I did ask them what's above the creation, and they just responded, well, there's still mysteries for us. So we have to look at all this. This is a huge game. We are all sitting here playing, as Shakespeare said, this is a world play, and we're all players. And we all have to work together and support each other. And I don't care, one thing you ought to know, this is the human race. I don't care what color you are, it's the human race. There are different races that look different on different planets. They're different sizes and shapes. I mean, I flew around the world to find out for myself. The situation is that, so we're a human race, we keep having divisions. It's a division between men or women, or between black or white or anything. That makes no difference. What's inside is that 22 grams, right? Men and women were designed as equal divided sexed pairs. Equals.